This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel. I'm a lifelong Reds fan here in my second season here at Locked On. And I want to thank you for spending some time with me as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds losing in embarrassing fashion tonight to the Washington Nationals. On tonight's show, we're going to talk about the fact that the Reds cannot protect the lead. We're talking about the pitching disaster. And the lineup had a little shakeup today that I kind of liked, actually. So we're going to talk about all that and, whatever.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I hate watching this team right now. They are so incredibly frustrating. And look, I'm not the guy who comes on here and is super negative. I'm the guy who finds the silver linings, right? I'm the guy who wants everyone to have a really good time. But that is, that's finding ways to lose. That's really finding ways to lose. And if that, your fans are also finding ways to lose as well. The Reds started this game up 5-0 in the first inning. Tyler Stephenson hit a grand slam in the first inning to put them up 5-0. They had 2 hits after that until Matt McLain's double in the 9th. Think about that. 5 runs in the first inning, could not play add-on. Yeah, they scored another run. It was 6-6 going in extras, obviously, but can't put anything together. They just cannot get consistent offense from anybody. It's embarrassing, honestly, at this point. And the fact that they're just sort of continually, we're going through this over and over again. We're having the same conversation day in and day out of why can't they figure things out? It's just brutal. They've lost 10 of their last 12 now. That's not acceptable. When I was on filling in for Jeff with Steve on Locked On, I was talking every day about the fact that it's why are we going through this? Why can they not find ways to win games? They play in close games. How many of these games in this 10 out of 12 stretch have they lost by 1 or 2 runs? Obviously last night was a nightmare. And then the way they used the pitching today was also a nightmare. It's just so frustrating because I think there's a lot, we played a lot of best case, worst case scenario when we were previewing this team going into the season, right? Best case scenario was April. Worst case scenario is May. This is a disaster of a month for a baseball team who was 9 games above 500 at the end of April. Let me repeat that. 9 games over 500 in April, and now they are 1 game over 500. They are now 22-21. We're a quarter of the way through the season, by the way, people. Can you think about that now? You think this baseball season's so long, and it is. We're a fourth of the way through it already. And this team is what? A game over 500? Pitching is a disaster. It's unbelievable how bad this pitching is. We're every single day having this conversation of why is player A in the lineup and why is player B not getting more opportunities. We're having that about just about everybody not named De La Cruz or Steer or Stewart. And when Suarez comes back, it's just so maddening. And today, Spencer Steer has a chance to tie the game. I know a lot of people are going to complain about the fan, and I get it. Here's the thing I will say about it. 1, it was a home run. That was over the line. They should have been tie game. We should be still playing right now. 2, how can you fault a fan for going for a ball? I can never imagine what I would do in that situation. Is it frustrating? Yes, because your team needs to win. But I can't be mad at the guy. It's disappointing because, they're costing the game basically, but I can't see any situation that where we're looking at this, and Steve's here in the chat. I always love when Steve and Jeff pop in the chat and he says 25% of the season, the Reds still have way more questions than answers. Yes, that is embarrassing as well. And I get it. There's a lot of injuries that played into this. We've talked about them all. I don't have to go through the list anymore. We've done that. But we're still at this point where at some point, injuries can't just be your only excuse for not playing good baseball. At some point, it's got to come down to we aren't executing and doing our job. And the Reds are not executing. They are not doing their job, and they are not pitching. And it's the most frustrating part about this whole thing because what did we say all offseason? It was if this team can just find a way to score runs, we'll be fine. Our pitching staff will keep us in games. We'll be okay. They're terrible. They can't keep anybody off the board. They're rushing Nick Lodolo back. You can tell he's rushed back. He should not be starting baseball games for the Cincinnati Reds right now. And they don't have a choice but to use him, because who else are going to have start games right now? Oh, by the way, Chase Petty's got a blister too, so he can't start games for the Reds either. And you think, okay, well, maybe it's just not Nick Lodolo's day. Maybe he's just still getting a groove because he's back pitching in the majors again. This is the Washington Nationals we're talking about here. I get they have some dudes, right? James Wood, dude. CJ Abrams, dude. They've got dudes. Not hating. But you would think when you're Nick Lodolo, who's a guy who like borderline all-star pitcher, when is he fully on his peak, you can get the Nationals out. You can get the Nationals out. The hell are you doing? And then the bullpen. Our guy, Tony Santillan. Let's see, we got about 30 people live in the chat right now. Our guy, Tony Santillan, might be able to get 22 of the 30 people in the chat right now out. 8 of us got a shot on him, okay? And I don't know if you look at baseball and batting average, that's a pretty good number. So if you're watching Tony Santillan, you are holding on to your breath. And by the way, we just had to use Pierce Johnson last night down 10-2, didn't we? We just had to make sure Pierce Johnson pitched in a 10-2 game. But we threw Tony Santillan out there tonight. What are we doing? I don't understand this anymore. As you can tell, I am frustrated. I am so frustrated. I love the Reds. I love talking Reds baseball with you guys each and every night. I love it when they win games. We can come on here and celebrate. But when they're having situations like this, where they are playing God terrible and they're losing series that they should win, series to teams like the Nationals, you can't beat the Nationals. I got nothing for you. I can't come on here and keep doing my silver lining thing. I love you all. I try my hardest. If Jeff and Steve are going to be the same thing when their show comes up, whether it's in the morning, we're furious. We cannot watch this team every single day. And by the way, Steve, yes, I have come along. I agree. Key Brian Hayes should not play every day anymore. I completely agree. But hey, speaking of, there was some lineup shakeups tonight, and honestly, I liked it. It didn't work out too right, but it gave you hope for the future. So we're going to talk about that and more right after this. This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Kalshi. Good old Kalshi. Baseball season is here, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ for those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. This episode is also brought to you by our pals over at Rocket Money. And I'm going to say this real quick. I love Rocket Money. If you've ever opened your bank account and thought, where did all my money go? You're not alone. Keeping track of subscriptions, spending, and bills can go overwhelming fast. That's where Rocket Money comes in, helping you take control of your finances all in one place. It tracks all your subscriptions in one spot and can help cancel the ones you don't need with just a few taps. It automatically categorizes your spending so you automatically see where your money is going, and you can set budgets, get alerts, and stay on top of upcoming bills. It just makes everything feel more organized and gives you a clearer picture of your finances day to day. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Want to give a shout out to our everydayers here on the POSTCAST. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with us here as we discuss the good and the bad that is Reds baseball. And right now, it's a lot of bad. But hey, if you are an everydayer and you want to make it official, come join the Everydayer Club. The Everydayer Club is a blast. Say you like me, you like Tim's work. Locked on Reds, Locked on Cavs, Everydayer Club, you get ad-free Tim Daniel episodes. Say you're like, I just like Jeff and Steve. You get Locked on Reds, buy them those guys ad-free each and every day. You get all of your favorite shows on Locked On, ad-free episodes. You get our Discord chat that has a room for every single team. $5 a month or $50 a year. It's a whole lot of fun in there talking ball with everybody. Go to the LockedOnPodcast.com/everydayer or LockedOnReds.supercast.com to learn more. We do have to pick a Locked On player of the game. I do have one in mind. Sure.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I actually have two in mind because these two guys should have won in the game today. One, Tyler Stephenson. Not only the grand slam, ABS in the 9th inning. Spectacular. Awesome. Two, Matt McLain. Double in the bottom of the 9th that gets him a runner in scoring position for the chance to win the game. And that holding the tag on that steal of second base and just like staying patient and letting it come to him was awesome. There's not often I get to talk about Tyler Stephenson and Matt McLain doing good things. And those two guys gave the Reds an opportunity to win the game tonight when their pitching did not. So, yes, those two guys both have honorable mentions, I guess, for Locked On Player of the Game. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The Reds lost. All right, here's the thing. We know the offense has been struggling. Everyone knows the offense has been struggling. Every single day we hear it's time to bring up Edwin Arroyo. By the way, yes, it is. But Tito said, hey, man, we're really struggling on offense. I think I need to switch this up. And he did. TJ Friedl not in the leadoff spot today. I liked it. Will Benson in the leadoff spot. You would wish a major league team would have better options, but with what they currently have, cool with it. Elly De La Cruz hitting second. Elly De La Cruz went up to the plate in the first inning with 1 out instead of 2. I mean, Sal Stewart hitting third, JJ Bleday cleanup, Spencer Steer hitting fifth, Nathaniel Lowe hitting sixth. I really liked the idea of the lineup. And then you saw Friedl at the bottom of the order, and you had McLain at the bottom of the order. And McLain, like I said, I have no complaints with how he played tonight. I liked what they did. I hope that they keep this going. I hope this is not a one-night thing and they go, oh, we didn't win with it, because they did score 6 runs. Their pitching just let them down. But if you're Terry Francona, I appreciate trying things here. I would rather see if this can work instead of just throwing the same thing out there and seeing what we can do. Right now, the outfield is just putrid. Just call it what it is. JJ Bleday is their best outfielder. Jason says here, time for Elly to hit leadoff. Greg says the same thing. I think we're a week away from that if things keep going the way they are. And it's probably your best bet at least until Suarez comes back and you have some more protection for him in the lineup. That's probably you're going to be your best option for your team. But I thought that the offense did their job minus, in the first inning, in the 9th inning and the 10th inning. Other than that, 2 hits in the innings between the first and the 9th is unacceptable when you have 5 runs. And look, it's unacceptable. They gave up that lead. That's stuff that you should not do. Good teams do not lose games when they go up to a 5-0 start. I'm sorry, they just don't. But now we're talking about the Reds losing another series in such frustrating fashion. And we try to see if they can get one tomorrow. But tomorrow, the good news is Chase Burns is on the hill. But tonight, the Reds are losers to the Washington Nationals, 8-7. Who's this Lyle guy that's killing us, by the way? Why do I not know this gentleman? But the Reds have just found a way to hurt us all. But hey, tomorrow Chase Burns is on the hill, and we see if we can get things better. But I'm going to go ahead and roll out of here because I'm going to get ready for the Cavs postcast as well. Everyone, thank you all so much for spending some time with me tonight in the most irritating way possible for the Reds to lose games. Be sure to stay tuned in here on your podcast app of choice or on YouTube for Jeff and Steve on Locked On Reds as well. I'm Tim Daniel. Have a great rest of your night. I'll see you tomorrow.